Welcome to my channel, Unleash Your English. Be honest tonight. When someone asks for your view, do you give one weak sentence and then become silent? You may know English words. You may understand the question. But your real thoughts remain trapped because you cannot explain them clearly. That is why people may not see how intelligent you truly are. By the end of this video, you will feel more ready to express clear views, explain your thinking, agree with confidence, disagree without sounding rude, question weak information, and reach balanced conclusions in English. You will stop hiding behind good, bad, yes, and no. Stay with this lesson until the end, because tonight, your English will begin to sound calmer, sharper, wiser, and far more mature. Chapter 1. Clear Positions and Meanings. Tonight, while your body becomes quiet, I want you to face one uncomfortable truth. You may know many English words, but when someone asks what you think, your answer may still sound empty. You say, "It is good." You say, "It is bad." You say, "I think yes." Then, you stop. Your mind may have more inside it, but nobody can hear what remains trapped there. Do not blame your intelligence. You are not empty. Your English simply needs stronger tools. Tonight, you will begin learning those tools slowly, clearly, and without difficult grammar. The first word is stance. A stance means where you stand on an idea. It shows what you believe at this time. You can say, "My stance is clear." This does not mean you must fight with anyone. It does not mean you must speak loudly. It simply means you know your position. Maybe the question is about studying at home. Your stance may be that studying at home is useful when the learner has a good routine. That is already better than saying only, "Home study is good." Your sentence now has direction. Say it softly in your mind. Stance. My stance is clear. The next word is position. A position is the side you take or the view you hold. You can say, "This is my current position." The word current means now. Your current position can change later. That is not weakness. A careful person can learn something new and change their position. Only a foolish person thinks changing an idea is always shameful. If new information teaches you something, you are allowed to think again. You can say, "My position has changed." This is a mature sentence. It shows that you can grow. Now learn firm position. A firm position is a position you hold strongly. You can say, "I have a firm position on this matter." But be careful. Firm does not mean rude. Firm does not mean refusing to listen. You can hold a strong view and still hear another person. A neutral position means you do not strongly choose either side. Maybe you need more information. Maybe both sides have something useful. You can say, "For now, I have a neutral position." Do not feel weak when you are not sure. Pretending to know everything is not smart. Saying you need more time can show careful thinking. A middle position stands between two strong sides. You can say, "I prefer a middle position." Imagine one person says children should use phones all day. Another person says children should never use phones. A middle position may say children can use phones for a limited time and for useful reasons. That position does not blindly choose an extreme side. Now learn balanced position. A balanced position looks at more than one side. You can say, I want to give a balanced position. This is important because weak thinkers often see only the side they already like. A thoughtful person asks, what is useful here? What is difficult here? What might another person see? Balance does not mean you have no view. It means your view is not blind. Say softly, balanced position. I can see more than one side. The word outlook means the general way you see something. You can say, my outlook is hopeful. Your outlook can be hopeful, careful, negative, or practical. For example, your outlook on learning English may be that progress takes time but remains possible. This tells people more than simply saying English is good. The next word is perspective. Perspective means the way you see an idea or situation. Two people can look at the same thing and have different perspectives. A student may see homework as pressure. A teacher may see homework as practice. The same homework has not changed, but the perspectives are different. You can say, from my perspective, practice is necessary. This is a useful sentence. It shows that you are sharing your view without claiming that everyone must agree. Repeat softly. Perspective. This is how I see it. Now learn viewpoint. A viewpoint is the position from which you think about something. You can say, I understand your viewpoint. This sentence is powerful because it does not mean you agree. It means you listened. Many people do not listen. They only wait for their turn to speak. That does not create a smart discussion. A mature speaker can understand another viewpoint and still keep a different position. The word take can also mean your personal view about something. You can say, my take is a little different. This is natural spoken English. It is useful when you want to share your view without sounding aggressive. Now we move to meaning words. The first is interpretation. An interpretation is the meaning you understand from something. You can say, this is one possible interpretation. The word possible is important. It shows that another meaning may also exist. Imagine a teacher says, you need to work harder. One learner may hear criticism. Another learner may hear useful advice. The same sentence creates two interpretations. This teaches you something serious. People do not always understand words in the same way. Say softly. Interpretation. This is one possible meaning. The word lens means the way you look at something. A lens changes what you notice. You can say, I am looking at this through a practical lens. A practical lens asks, will this work in real life? A cultural lens asks, how does culture affect this? A personal lens asks, how does this affect me? The phrase, wider picture, means seeing more than one small part. You can say, we should look at the wider picture. Maybe one student gets a low score. The small picture says the student failed. The wider picture may show that the student was sick, missed lessons, or still improved from the last test. One number does not always tell the full truth. Do not judge too fast. Fast judgment often misses the wider picture. The phrase, narrow reading, means understanding something in a limited way. A broad reading looks at more possibilities. You can say, that may be a narrow reading. You can also say, a broad reading gives us more meaning. These sentences help you speak carefully. Now learn surface reading and deeper reading. A surface reading looks only at what is easy to see. A deeper reading looks for more meaning. Imagine a person stays silent. A surface reading may say, that person has nothing to say. A deeper reading may show that the person is thinking, feeling pressure, or waiting for the right moment. You can say, we need a deeper reading. This is a strong sentence because it tells people not to stop at the first appearance. The phrase central meaning means the main meaning. You can say, the central meaning is simple. The phrase intended meaning means what the speaker truly wanted to communicate. Sometimes, the listener understands something different from the intended meaning. This can create confusion. You can say, I may have misunderstood the intended meaning. That is an honest and mature sentence. Now learn fair reading. A fair reading tries to understand an idea without twisting it. You can say, let us give this idea a fair reading. Do not change another person's words just to make them look foolish. That is weak thinking. First, understand the view correctly. Then respond. A careful reading takes time. A mistaken reading understands something incorrectly. A fresh interpretation offers a new way to understand the idea. You can say, my first reading may have been mistaken. Let me give a fresh interpretation. I want to understand the idea carefully. These are simple sentences, but they make your English sound thoughtful. Now, use the sleep learning method. Stance means where you stand on an idea. Smart sentence. My stance is clear, but I can still listen. Sleep repeat. Stance. I can explain where I stand. Perspective means the way you see something. Smart sentence. From my perspective, daily practice is useful. Sleep repeat. Perspective. I can explain how I see it. Interpretation means the meaning you understand. Smart sentence. This is one possible interpretation. Sleep repeat. Interpretation. I can explain what it means to me. Wider picture means seeing more than one small part. Smart sentence. I can look at the wider picture. Sleep repeat. Wider picture. I can see more than one side. Before sleep, repeat these lines softly. My stance can be clear. I can explain my position. I can listen to another viewpoint. I can share my perspective. I can give a careful interpretation. I can look at the wider picture. I can avoid narrow thinking. I can hold a balanced position. My English can carry my real thoughts. Remember this deeply. If you cannot explain where you stand, other people will never clearly understand your mind. Stop hiding behind good, bad, yes, and no. Those answers are not enough when your mind has more to say. You do not need difficult grammar. You need one clear position, one simple reason, and the courage to express it calmly. Tonight, let these words rest in your mind. Stance, position, outlook, perspective, viewpoint, balanced position, interpretation, lens, wider picture, broad reading, deeper reading, central meaning, fair reading, careful reading. Let them become familiar while your body rests. In the next chapter, you will learn how to examine claims, hidden assumptions, and reasons, because knowing where you stand is only the beginning. A smart position must also have clear thinking behind it. Chapter 2: Claims, Premises, and Reasons. A strong voice can fool you. A serious face can fool you. A popular video can fool you. A person may speak fast, look sure, and sound intelligent, but the idea may still be weak. Do not confuse confidence with truth. Do not accept a statement only because the speaker sounds powerful. If you never look behind the words, other people can fill your mind with their thinking, while your own thinking stays asleep. Tonight, you will learn how to look inside an idea. You will learn how to find the claim, the starting belief, and the reason. You do not need difficult grammar. You only need to slow down and ask simple questions. The first word is claim. A claim is something a person says is true. You can say, that is a strong claim. Imagine someone says, phones make students lazy. This is a claim. The person is saying something is true, but the sentence is not automatically correct. It needs a reason. It may also need examples. You can say, this claim needs more explanation. This is a smart sentence. You are not attacking the speaker. You are asking the idea to stand on its own feet. Say softly in your mind, claim. This claim needs a clear reason. Now, learn statement. A statement is something a person says or writes. Every claim is a statement, but not every statement is a strong claim. The door is open is a simple statement. Open classrooms always create better learning is a bigger statement. Bigger statements need more careful thinking. The word assertion means a statement said with confidence. You can say, that is a bold assertion. A bold assertion may sound powerful, but it still needs a clear reason. Sounding sure does not make an idea true. Now learn central claim. The central claim is the main thing a person wants you to accept. Imagine someone gives a long talk about online learning. The central claim may be, online learning is better for every student. All the other sentences may support that one main idea. You can ask, what is the central claim? This question helps you stop getting lost in many words. The phrase broad claim means a statement that covers many people or many situations. Every student learns better at home is a broad claim. It talks about every student. That is very large. A narrow claim is smaller and more careful. Some students learn better at home is a narrow claim. Notice the difference. The first sentence tries to cover everyone. The second sentence leaves room for different people. Narrow claims are often easier to defend because they do not pretend that one rule fits every person. Now learn strong claim and weak claim. A strong claim is clear and has a good reason behind it. A weak claim is unclear, too large, or poorly explained. You can say, the claim sounds strong, but the reason is weak. This sentence teaches an important lesson. A strong sound and a strong idea are not the same thing. The phrase unsupported claim means a claim with no real reason behind it. You can say, this is an unsupported claim. Imagine someone says, this is the best course in the world, but gives no clear reason. That is unsupported. The person wants you to believe the sentence without giving you enough to think about. A questionable claim is a statement that may not be fully believable. You can say, this claim is questionable. A reasonable claim makes sense and does not go too far. An exaggerated claim makes something sound bigger or more certain than it really is. For example, this method may help some beginners. Is careful. This method will make every learner fluent in 7 days. Is exaggerated. Do not let huge promises control your mind. Now learn premise. A premise is the starting idea under a claim. Think of it like the floor under a house. If the floor is weak, the house is not safe. If the premise is weak, the full claim may also be weak. Imagine someone says, children should never use phones because all phone use is harmful. The claim is that children should never use phones. The premise is that all phone use is harmful. But is that starting idea fully true? Some phone use may be harmful. Some phone use may be useful. The premise may be too broad. You can say, the premise may be weak. This is careful English. The next word is assumption. An assumption is something a person accepts without checking enough. You can say, this idea has a hidden assumption. Hidden means it is not spoken clearly, but it is still inside the idea. Imagine someone says, he speaks slowly, so his English must be poor. The hidden assumption is that good English must always be fast. That assumption is weak. Slow English can be clear, correct, and powerful. Say softly, assumption. I can notice what is hidden. Now learn starting belief. A starting belief is the idea a person begins with. If the starting belief is wrong, the final view can also become wrong. You can say, the starting belief needs checking. A false assumption is an assumption that is not true. A fair assumption is more reasonable. A mistaken assumption is something a person believed but later found to be wrong. You can say, my first assumption was mistaken. This is not a weak sentence. It shows growth. It shows that you can correct yourself. Now learn shared assumption. A shared assumption is something many people accept together. But remember, many people can share the same weak idea. Popular does not always mean correct. A cultural assumption comes from the beliefs of a culture. A social assumption comes from common thinking in society. These ideas may feel normal because people hear them many times. But normal thinking still deserves careful thought. Now we move to rationale. A rationale is the reason behind a position. You can say, the rationale should be clear. Imagine your position is that children should have limited phone time. Your rationale may be that too much screen time can reduce sleep and study time. Now, the position has a clear reason. Do not only say what you think, explain why. The word justification also means a reason that supports an action or position. You can say, the justification is not strong enough. This means the reason does not fully support the claim. Now learn reasoning. Reasoning is the way you use thoughts to reach a final view. You can say, the reasoning is clear. Good reasoning moves step by step. It does not jump. For example, too much phone use can reduce sleep. Poor sleep can hurt attention. So, very long phone use at night may affect learning. This is a reasoning path. One thought leads to another. A reasoning chain is a line of connected thoughts. A logical link connects two ideas. A logical step is one part of the thinking path. You can say, I do not see the logical link. This means the ideas do not connect clearly. Now learn rushed reasoning. Rushed reasoning happens when a person reaches a final view too quickly. Imagine one student fails one online class, and someone says, online learning never works. That is rushed reasoning. One experience is being used to judge every situation. A careful reasoning process takes time. A balanced reasoning process looks at more than one side. Incomplete reasoning misses an important part. You can say, the reasoning feels incomplete. We need a more careful reasoning path. The rationale is still unclear. These sentences help you question an idea without becoming rude. Now use the sleep learning method. Claim means something a person says is true. Smart sentence. This claim needs a clear reason. Sleep repeat. Claim. I can listen carefully to a claim. Premise means the starting idea under a claim. Smart sentence. The premise may be weak. Sleep repeat. Premise. I can check the starting idea. Assumption means something accepted without enough checking. Smart sentence. This idea has a hidden assumption. Sleep repeat. Assumption. I can notice what is hidden. Rationale means the reason behind a position. Smart sentence. The rationale should be clear. Sleep repeat. Rationale. I can explain why I think this. Reasoning path means how one thought leads to another. Smart sentence. The reasoning path should be easy to follow. Sleep repeat. Reasoning path. One thought can lead to another. Before sleep, repeat these lines softly. I can notice the main claim. I can ask for a clear reason. I can check the starting belief. I can notice a hidden assumption. I can follow the reasoning path. I can avoid exaggerated claims. I do not need to believe every strong voice. I can think slowly and clearly. My English can carry careful thoughts. Remember this deeply. A strong voice without clear reasoning is only noise. Do not let loud words control you. Do not accept huge claims without looking underneath them. Ask what the person is saying. Ask what belief is behind it. Ask why the idea should be accepted. Then, follow the thinking, step by step. Tonight, let these words settle inside your mind. Claim, statement, assertion, central claim, broad claim, narrow claim, unsupported claim, premise, assumption, hidden assumption, rationale, justification, reasoning, logical link, careful reasoning, balanced reasoning. In the next chapter, you will learn how to decide which points truly matter, how likely something is, and how to speak without pretending that everything is certain, because careful reasoning must also know its limits. Chapter 3. Relevance, Likelihood, and Nuance. Do not let one small fact control your whole mind. Do not hear one example and build a huge rule from it. Do not see one person fail and say everyone will fail. That is lazy thinking. It may sound strong, but it is not smart. Many English learners use words like always, never, everyone, no one, completely, and impossible because they do not know how to speak carefully. Tonight, you will learn a better way. Your voice can remain strong without making false promises. Your English can sound mature without pretending you know everything. The first word is relevance. Relevance means how closely something connects to the main matter. You can say, this point has relevance. You can also say, this detail is relevant. Imagine people are discussing whether studying at night is useful. One person talks about the color of the student's chair. That detail may not be relevant. Another person talks about sleep, focus, and energy. Those details are relevant because they connect directly to studying at night. Not every detail deserves your attention. Some details only make noise. Say softly in your mind, relevance. I can notice what matters. The next word is significance. Significance means how important something is. A detail can be relevant but still have low significance. Imagine a learner studies 10 minutes longer than usual. This may be relevant, but it may not be a major change. If the learner studies every day for 6 months, that may have greater significance. You can say, this change has real significance. You can also say, this detail has little significance. These sentences help you show that some things matter more than others. Now learn weight. Weight means how much importance a point should receive. You can say, this point carries more weight. Imagine you are choosing a place to live. One house has beautiful walls, but it is very far from work. Another house looks simple, but it is safe and close to work. The beautiful walls are 1 point. Safety and distance may carry more weight. A careless speaker treats every point in the same way. A careful speaker asks, which point should carry more weight? Repeat softly. Weight. Not every point has equal weight. The phrase central issue means the main problem or main matter. You can say, that is the central issue. A main concern is the thing that worries you most. A key matter is an important part of the discussion. Imagine a student says, I cannot study well because my notebook is blue. That may not be the central issue. The real issue may be noise, poor sleep, or no routine. Do not hide the central issue behind small details. Now learn minor matter and major matter. A minor matter is small. A major matter is serious or important. You can say, this is only a minor matter. You can say, sleep is a major matter for learning. The phrase relevant detail means a detail that helps the discussion. An irrelevant detail does not help. You can say, that detail is not relevant to the main point. This is useful when a discussion moves away from the real matter. Now, we move to certainty. Certainty means feeling fully sure. You can say, we do not have complete certainty. This is a mature sentence. Sometimes the truth is not fully clear. Sometimes you have only part of the information. You should not speak as if you know everything. False certainty is dangerous. It makes weak knowledge sound complete. The next word is likelihood. Likelihood means how possible something is. You can say, there is a strong likelihood of improvement. This means improvement is very possible. You can say, there is a low likelihood of success without practice. This means success is not very possible. Likelihood does not mean certainty. Something can be likely and still not happen. Say softly, likelihood. I can speak about what may happen. Now learn probability. Probability also means the chance that something will happen. You can say, the probability is high. A high likelihood means something is quite possible. A low likelihood means it is not very possible. The phrase reasonable chance means a fair or real possibility. You can say, there is a reasonable chance this method will help. This sounds more careful than saying, this method will help everyone. A small chance means something is possible, but not very likely. A real chance means the possibility should not be ignored. Now learn plausible. Plausible means something could reasonably be true. You can say, that explanation sounds plausible. It does not mean the explanation is certainly true. It means the explanation makes sense and could be true. The word probable means likely. Possible means it can happen. Definite means certain. These words are not the same. Listen carefully. Possible means it can happen. Probable means it will likely happen. Definite means it will happen for sure. Do not mix them. You can say, rain is possible. Rain is probable. The result is not definite. Now learn uncertain. Uncertain means not fully known. You can say, the result is uncertain. The word unclear means difficult to understand or not fully known. Predictable means easy to expect. Unpredictable means difficult to expect. You can say, the future is not always predictable. This is realistic. Smart people do not act as if life follows every plan. Now, we move to nuance. Nuance means a small but important difference. You can say, this matter needs more nuance. Imagine someone says, online learning is bad. That sentence is too simple. Online learning may be difficult for some people. It may be useful for others. It may work well with good internet and clear teaching. It may work poorly without support. The truth may sit between two extreme sides. Nuance helps you see that middle space. Say softly, nuance. I can notice small but important differences. The word qualification means adding a limit to a large statement. Imagine someone first says, "This method works." Then they add, "It works well for learners who practice daily." The second part is a qualification. It makes the statement more exact. Now, learn limitation. A limitation shows where something may not work well. You can say, "This idea has one limitation." Every method has limits. Every plan has limits. Every person has limits. Ignoring those limits does not make you positive. It makes you careless. The word exception means one case that does not follow the normal rule. You can say, "There may be an exception." Imagine most learners enjoy short lessons, but one learner prefers long lessons. That learner may be an exception. A rule with one exception is not always a useless rule. It simply means the rule is not perfect. Now learn careful words, such as partly, mainly, generally, somewhat, slightly, mostly, usually, and rarely. Partly means not completely. Mainly means more than other parts. Generally means true in many cases, but not every case. Somewhat means a little or to a certain degree. Slightly means only a small amount. Mostly means in most cases. Usually means happening many times. Rarely means not often. You can say, "This is partly true." The problem is mainly about time. This method is generally useful. The result is somewhat unclear. The price is slightly higher. Most learners usually need practice. These words protect your English from careless extremes. Now learn the phrases in some cases, in many cases, to some extent, under certain conditions, and with one exception. You can say, "This method works in some cases." You can say, "I agree to some extent." You can say, "This can work under certain conditions." These phrases do not make you weak. They make your message more exact. Now use the sleep learning method. Relevance means how closely something matters. Smart sentence. This detail has strong relevance. Sleep repeat. Relevance. I can notice what matters. Weight means how much importance a point should receive. Smart sentence. Safety should carry more weight. Sleep repeat. Weight. I can decide what matters most. Likelihood means how possible something is. Smart sentence. This result seems likely, but it is not certain. Sleep repeat. Likelihood. I can speak with care. Plausible means something could reasonably be true. Smart sentence. That explanation sounds plausible. Sleep repeat. Plausible. It may be true, but I will still think. Nuance means a small but important difference. Smart sentence. This matter needs more nuance. Sleep repeat. Nuance. I can avoid extreme thinking. Limitation means a place where an idea may not work. Smart sentence. This plan has one limitation. Sleep repeat. Limitation. I can see where the plan becomes weak. Before sleep, repeat these lines softly. I can notice what truly matters. I can give more weight to the main point. I can speak about what is likely. I do not need false certainty. I can say something is possible. I can say something is partly true. I can notice a limitation. I can accept an exception. I can avoid always and never. My English can be strong and careful. Remember this deeply. Smart speaking is not sounding certain all the time. It is knowing when certainty is not possible. Stop using giant words when you have only a small amount of information. Do not say everyone when you know only two people. Do not say never because something failed once. Do not say always because something worked once. Speak honestly. Speak carefully. That is how your English begins to sound mature. Tonight, let these words rest inside your mind. Relevance, significance, weight, central issue, main concern, likelihood, probability, plausible, possible, uncertain, predictable, nuance, qualification, limitation, exception, partly, generally, somewhat, in some cases, to some extent. In the next chapter, you will learn how to agree without becoming weak and how to disagree without becoming rude, because careful thinking must also know how to speak with respect. Chapter 4. Agreeing and disagreeing politely. There is a weak habit that destroys many conversations. One person speaks, and the other person either says yes to everything or attacks immediately. Both choices are poor. If you agree with everything, your real thoughts disappear. If you attack every different idea, people stop listening to you. Tonight, while your body becomes quiet, you will learn a stronger path. You will learn how to keep your voice without turning your words into weapons. The first word is agreement. Agreement means two or more people accept the same idea. You can say, "We are in agreement." This is clear, but agreement does not always mean both people think exactly the same way. Sometimes they agree only on the main point. Imagine two friends discussing English practice. One friend likes reading, the other likes listening. They may still agree that daily practice is necessary. That shared idea is their agreement. Say softly in your mind, "Agreement. I can say what we both accept." Now, learn alignment. Alignment means two positions move in the same direction. You can say, "Our views are in alignment." This sounds more mature than saying only, "We think the same." A shared view is an idea held by more than one person. You can say, "We have a shared view about daily practice." A similar position means the two positions are close, but not fully the same. Do not force full agreement when only part of the idea is shared. Speak honestly. The phrase common ground means the part both sides can accept. This is one of the most useful phrases in a discussion. You can say, "Let us begin with common ground." Imagine one person wants students to use phones in class. Another person wants phones completely removed. They may still agree that students should not be distracted. That is common ground. They disagree about the method, but they share one concern. When a discussion becomes tense, look for common ground first. It can open the door to a calmer conversation. Repeat softly, "Common ground. I can find what we share." Now, learn mutual understanding. Mutual understanding means both people understand each other. They may still disagree, but they know what the other person means. You can say, "We need mutual understanding." Many arguments grow because people answer before they understand. They hear one sentence and become angry. They do not ask what the speaker truly means. That is careless. Understanding must come before a strong reply. The phrase partial agreement means you agree with only one part. You can say, "I am in partial agreement." You can also use the easier sentence, "I agree with one part." This is a powerful skill. You do not need to choose only yes or no. You can accept one part and question another. For example, "I agree that phones can help learning, but I do not agree that students should use them all day. This sentence is balanced. It does not hide your view, and it does not attack the other person. A full agreement means you accept the whole idea. A broad agreement means people agree on most of the important parts. A general agreement means most people share the same basic view. You can say, I fully agree with this point. There is broad agreement on this matter. We agree on the main idea. Now, learn fair point. A fair point is an idea that deserves attention. You can say, that is a fair point. This does not always mean you fully agree. It means the point is reasonable and should not be ignored. A valid point is a point that makes sense. A reasonable point is fair and not extreme. You can say, you have raised a valid point. These sentences help you show respect before giving your own view. Now we move to disagreement. The word disagreement means two people do not hold the same view. Disagreement is normal. Two thoughtful people can see the same situation differently. Do not fear this word. Disagreement is not a fight. It is simply a difference in thinking. You can say, we have a disagreement on this point. This is better than saying, you are completely wrong. The next word is objection. An objection is a reason for not accepting an idea. You can say, I have one objection. A serious objection is a strong concern. A mild objection is a smaller concern. Imagine someone says students should study for 12 hours every day. You may say, I have a serious objection. This may harm their sleep and health. You are not attacking the person. You are explaining the problem. Now learn concern. A concern is something that worries you. You can say, I would like to raise one concern. This is a polite and useful sentence. A concern is often softer than an objection. It helps you bring attention to a possible problem without sounding angry. Say softly, concern. I can explain what worries me. The word reservation means a concern that stops you from fully agreeing. You can say, I have one reservation. Imagine you like an online course, but it is very expensive. You may say, the course looks useful, but I have one reservation about the price. You are not rejecting everything. You are showing the one point that prevents full agreement. Now, learn criticism. Criticism means explaining what may be wrong or weak. Criticism can be fair or unfair. Fair criticism focuses on the idea and gives a clear reason. Direct criticism speaks strongly and clearly. Be careful. Do not attack a person's intelligence, family, voice, or character. That is not smart criticism. That is disrespect. Say, this part of the plan is unclear. Do not say, you are stupid. The first sentence questions the plan. The second attacks the person. Learn the difference. Now learn counterpoint. A counterpoint is another point that challenges the first idea. You can say, I would like to add one counterpoint. Imagine someone says, working from home saves time. You may say, that is a fair point. My counterpoint is that some people feel lonely at home. You first accept the useful part, then you add another side. This creates a mature discussion. The phrase alternative reading means another way to understand an idea. You can say, there may be an alternative reading. A different conclusion means you looked at the idea but reached another final view. You can say, I understand your reasoning, but I reached a different conclusion. This is much stronger and more respectful than saying, no, you are wrong. Now learn polite challenge. A polite challenge questions an idea in a respectful way. You can say, may I challenge that point? You can also say, I am not sure that claim is fully correct. A thoughtful challenge gives a clear reason. It does not come from anger. It comes from careful thinking. You can question the claim by asking whether it is fully true. You can reject the premise when the starting belief is weak. You can dispute the statement when you believe it is incorrect. Simple sentences include, I would question that claim. I cannot accept the starting belief. I see the matter differently. I do not reach the same conclusion. Now learn the phrase, take issue with. It means disagree with something because you see a problem. You can say, I take issue with that part of the statement. The phrase, push back gently, means challenge an idea without becoming aggressive. You can say, I would gently push back on that point. The phrase differ on this point means you do not share the same view about one part. You can say, we differ on this point, but I understand your concern. This is mature English. You protect your view and still show respect. Now use the sleep learning method. Common ground means the part both sides can accept. Smart sentence. We can begin with common ground. Sleep repeat. Common ground. I can find what we share. Partial agreement means agreeing with only one part. Smart sentence. I agree with one part of your view. Sleep repeat. Partial agreement. I can accept one part. Reservation means a concern that stops full agreement. Smart sentence. I have one reservation about the cost. Sleep repeat. Reservation. I can explain what worries me. Counterpoint means another point that challenges an idea. Smart sentence. I would like to add one counterpoint. Sleep repeat. Counterpoint. I can show another side. Polite challenge means questioning an idea with respect. Smart sentence. I would like to challenge that claim politely. Sleep repeat. Polite challenge. I can disagree without attacking. Before sleep, repeat these lines softly. I can find common ground. I can agree with one part. I can understand another position. I can raise a concern calmly. I can explain my reservation. I can add a counterpoint. I can disagree without anger. I can protect my view with respect. My words do not need to hurt anyone. My English can be calm and strong. Remember this deeply. Disagreement does not make you rude. Disrespect makes you rude. Stop hiding your real view because you fear mistakes, but also stop using rude sentences to look strong. A loud attack does not prove anything. A calm reason carries more power than an insult. Tonight, let these words settle in your mind. Agreement, alignment, shared view, common ground, mutual understanding, partial agreement, fair point, objection, concern, reservation, criticism, counterpoint, alternative reading, polite challenge, different conclusion, push back gently. In the next chapter, you will learn how to judge whether information deserves trust, how to notice unfair thinking, and how to use clear standards. Because respectful words are important, but you must also know whether the message itself is trustworthy. Chapter 5. Trust, Bias, and Fairness. Before you close your eyes tonight, ask yourself one hard question. How many things have you believed only because someone sounded sure? Maybe the person spoke fast. Maybe the video had many views. Maybe the words sounded professional. Maybe everyone in the comments agreed, so you believed it. You did not check. You did not slow down. You gave your trust away for free. That is dangerous. Your trust has value. Your attention has value. Your money has value. Stop handing them to every loud voice. Tonight, you will learn how to check a message before you accept it. The first word is credibility. Credibility means how much a person, message, or source deserves trust. You can say, this source has strong credibility. You can also say, this source has low credibility. Imagine a person promises that you will speak perfect English in 3 days. The promise sounds exciting, but excitement is not credibility. You must ask, who is this person? What have they done? Are their words realistic? Say softly in your mind, credibility. I can judge information carefully. The next word is trustworthiness. Trustworthiness means being honest and deserving trust. A trustworthy person does not hide important facts. A trustworthy source does not change the truth to control you. You can say, I am not sure about the trustworthiness of this source. This is a careful sentence. You are not calling the person a liar. You are saying that more checking is needed. Now learn reliability. Reliability means giving correct or useful information again and again. One correct answer does not always make a source reliable. A reliable source has a good history. You can say, this website has shown good reliability. The phrase track record means what a person or group has done before. You can say, let us check the track record. If a person has made many false promises before, that matters. If a teacher has helped learners honestly for years, that also matters. Do not judge only by today's beautiful words. Look at the past record. Repeat softly, track record. I can check what happened before. Now learn reputation. Reputation means what people generally think about a person or group. A good reputation may help build trust, but reputation alone is not enough. Popular people can still make mistakes. Famous people can still speak outside their knowledge. The word expertise means deep knowledge or skill in one area. A doctor may have expertise in medicine. An English teacher may have expertise in language learning. But an expert in one area is not automatically an expert in every area. This is where many people become careless. They see a famous person and trust everything that person says. You can say, does this person have expertise in this subject? That question can protect you from weak information. Now learn authority. Authority can mean a person or group with trusted knowledge or official power. You can say, this information comes from a trusted authority. But even authority should not stop all thinking. A careful person still checks whether the message is clear and current. The phrases source strength and source weakness help you judge information. A strong source may have clear knowledge, experience, and an honest record. A weak source may give no name, no clear background, and no explanation. You can say, the source strength is unclear. You can say, this is a questionable source. A credible voice deserves attention. A trusted source has earned trust. A questionable source needs more checking. A weak source should not control a big choice. Now learn earned trust. Earned trust grows through honest action over time. You can say, trust must be earned. This is one of the most important lines in this chapter. Do not trust because someone demands it. Do not trust because someone becomes angry when you ask questions. Real trust does not fear careful questions. The opposite is damaged trust. Trust becomes damaged when a person lies, hides facts, or changes rules unfairly. Now we move to bias. Bias means unfair thinking toward one side. A biased person may notice only information that helps the side they already like. You can say, this view may contain bias. Bias does not always shout. Sometimes it hides quietly inside word choice, pictures, examples, or missing facts. Say softly, bias. I can notice one-sided thinking. Now, learn one-sidedness. One-sidedness means showing only one side. Imagine a video says a product is perfect, but never mentions the price, limits, or problems. That message is one-sided. You can say, the message feels one-sided. A balanced message does not need to attack the product. It simply shows useful parts and weak parts honestly. The word prejudice means an unfair belief about a person or group before knowing them properly. Favoritism means giving unfair extra support to one person or group. Unfairness means people are not treated in the same fair way. You can say, this judgment may show favoritism. You can say, the treatment feels unfair. Now learn neutrality. Neutrality means not unfairly choosing one side. A neutral speaker tries to show information without pushing the listener in a hidden way. The word objectivity means judging with facts and clear rules. Subjectivity means personal feelings affect the judgment. Personal feelings are not always bad, but you should know when they are shaping your view. You can say, this is a subjective view. This means the view comes partly from personal feeling. The word impartiality means treating all sides fairly. You can say, a judge should show impartiality. Now learn personal bias. Personal bias comes from your own likes, dislikes, and experiences. Cultural bias comes from ideas learned in a culture. Group bias makes people favor their own group. Emotional bias happens when strong feelings control thinking. Imagine someone dislikes one teacher. Then they call every lesson from that teacher useless. Their emotion may be controlling their judgment. You can say, my emotion may be creating bias. That is an honest sentence. Now learn confirmation bias. This means looking only for information that agrees with what you already believe. Imagine you believe online learning is bad. You search only for stories about people who failed online. You ignore people who succeeded. That is confirmation bias. You are not searching for truth. You are searching for comfort. The phrase selective attention means noticing only some details and ignoring others. You can say, selective attention can create an unfair view. Now we move to fairness. Fairness means treating people and ideas by honest rules. You can say, we need a fair judgment. A fair-minded approach tries to understand before judging. Balanced treatment means giving each side a fair chance. Neutral language avoids words that unfairly push the listener. A fair person does not use one rule for a friend and another rule for a stranger. This brings us to criterion. A criterion is one rule used to judge something. The plural word is criteria, meaning more than one judging rule. You can say, my main criterion is safety. If you are choosing a school, your criteria may be safety, distance, cost, and teaching quality. Clear criteria stop your judgment from changing without a reason. Say softly, criterion, I can explain how I judge. The word benchmark means a level used for checking. You can say, this is our main benchmark. A benchmark helps you ask whether something reaches the needed level. The word measure also means a way to judge. A fair measure treats all sides in the same way. A clear benchmark is easy to understand. A practical benchmark works in real life. Now, learn threshold. A threshold is the minimum level needed. You can say, the course did not reach the minimum threshold. A key condition is an important need. A basic condition is a simple need. A main condition is one of the most important needs. The phrase acceptable level means good enough to be accepted. A high standard expects a strong level. A low standard accepts weak performance. You can say, the criteria should be clear. You can say, a fair judgment uses the same standard. Now learn deal breaker. A deal breaker is one problem that makes you reject a choice. For example, if safety is missing, it may be a deal breaker. A must-have is something that must be present. You can say, safety is a must-have. You can say, dishonesty is a deal breaker. Now, use the sleep learning method. Credibility means how much something deserves trust. Smart sentence. This source has low credibility. Sleep repeat. Credibility. I can judge information carefully. Track record means what someone has done before. Smart sentence. I will check the track record first. Sleep repeat. Track record. I can look at past actions. Bias means unfair thinking toward one side. Smart sentence. This message may contain hidden bias. Sleep repeat. Bias. I can notice one-sided thinking. Neutrality means not unfairly choosing one side. Smart sentence. A careful message should show neutrality. Sleep repeat. Neutrality. I can look at both sides. Criterion means one rule used to judge something. Smart sentence. My main criterion is safety. Sleep repeat. Criterion. I can explain how I judge. Benchmark means a level used for checking. Smart sentence. This course meets the basic benchmark. Sleep repeat. Benchmark. I can check the needed level. Before sleep, repeat these lines softly. I do not need to trust quickly. I can check the source. I can look at the track record. I can ask about expertise. I can notice hidden bias. I can see one-sided thinking. I can use fair criteria. I can judge by the same standard. My trust must be earned. My thinking belongs to me. Remember this deeply. A confident voice can still be wrong, and a popular message can still be unfair. Stop giving your trust to every person who speaks loudly. Stop believing every promise that makes you excited. Check the source. Check the record. Check the knowledge. Notice what has been hidden. Ask whether the same rule is being used for everyone. But do not become afraid of everything. That is not wisdom. The goal is not to reject every message. The goal is to trust carefully. Tonight, let these words settle inside your mind. Credibility, trustworthiness, reliability, track record, expertise, source strength, earned trust, bias, one-sidedness, neutrality, objectivity, impartiality, confirmation bias, criterion, criteria, benchmark, threshold, fair measure, deal breaker, must have. In the next chapter, you will learn how to rank what matters, notice hidden costs, understand trade-offs, and look for another path. Because after you check whether information is trustworthy, you must still decide what choice makes sense in real life. Chapter 6. Choices, Priorities, and Trade-offs. Imagine two roads in front of you. One road looks easy, the other road looks difficult. You quickly choose the easy road because it feels safe. But after walking for some time, you discover that it is longer, more expensive, and full of hidden problems. This happens in real life every day. People choose what looks good now. They do not ask what the choice may cost later. Then they feel shocked when the hidden cost appears. Tonight, you will learn to stop choosing with closed eyes. The first word is priority. A priority is something that matters more than other things. You can say, safety is my top priority. This means safety comes before other concerns. You cannot treat everything as your top priority. If everything is first, then nothing is truly first. You must choose what matters most. Imagine you are choosing a house. You may care about price, distance, size, beauty, and safety. But perhaps safety is your top priority. Distance may be your second priority. Beauty may have less importance. Say softly in your mind, priority. I can choose what matters most. The word ranking means putting things in order. You can rank your needs from most important to least important. You can say, I need to rank my concerns. The phrase order of importance means the same thing. You can ask, what is the order of importance? A careless person chooses before ranking. A thoughtful person ranks first. Now learn first concern and main concern. A first concern is the thing you check before other things. A main concern is the problem or need that matters most. You can say, cost is my main concern. You can say, my first concern is my family's safety. A lower priority is something that matters, but not as much. You can say, style is a lower priority for me. This does not mean style has no meaning. It only means something else matters more. Now learn short-term priority and long-term priority. A short-term priority matters now. A long-term priority matters over many months or years. For example, earning money this week may be a short-term priority. Building a useful skill may be a long-term priority. A smart person tries not to destroy a long-term need for a small short-term gain. You can say, my long-term priority is steady growth. Repeat softly. Long-term priority. I can think beyond today. Now learn greater weight and less weight. If one point has greater weight, it should receive more attention. If it has less weight, it should receive less attention. Imagine one phone has a beautiful color, but its battery is weak. Another phone looks simple, but its battery lasts longer. If battery life matters more to you, it should carry greater weight. You can say, battery life deserves greater weight. Now we move to trade-off. A trade-off means you gain one thing but give up another. You can say, there is a trade-off here. Imagine a house close to your work costs more money. A house far away costs less, but travel takes more time. If you choose the close house, you save time, but pay more. If you choose the far house, you save money but lose time. Stop looking for choices that give everything and take nothing. Those choices are rare. Say softly, trade-off. I can see what I gain and what I lose. Now, learn short-term gain and long-term cost. A short-term gain helps you now. A long-term cost hurts you later. For example, sleeping very little may give you more study time tonight. That is the short-term gain. But poor sleep may hurt your focus tomorrow. That is the long-term cost. You can say, the short-term gain may create a long-term cost. This is smart English because it looks beyond the first result. The phrase hidden cost means a cost you do not see at first. It may not be money. It could be time, energy, health, peace, or attention. A free app may take your personal information. A cheap product may break quickly. A higher salary may come with longer hours. These are possible hidden costs. You can say, this choice has a hidden cost. Now learn extra burden. An extra burden is more work, pressure, or cost. You can say, this plan may create an extra burden. The phrase price to pay means the loss or difficulty connected to a choice. You can say, every choice may have a price to pay. Now learn compromise. A compromise happens when people accept less than everything they wanted so they can reach a workable result. Imagine one family member wants to live in the city, another wants to live in a village. They may choose a small town between both places. That can be a compromise. A fair compromise gives something to both sides. A workable compromise can actually function. A difficult compromise may be painful but necessary. You can say, we may need a fair compromise. A compromise is not always weakness. Sometimes refusing every compromise destroys the whole plan. Now learn sacrifice. A sacrifice means giving up something for something more important. You may sacrifice some free time to study. A parent may sacrifice comfort for their children. But be careful. Not every sacrifice is wise. Do not give up your health for a small reward. Do not lose something deeply important for something temporary. You can say, this sacrifice may not be necessary. The phrase, middle ground, means a place between two strong sides. A middle path also means a choice between two extremes. You can say, a middle path may work better. Maybe studying 10 hours is too much, and studying 0 hours is too little. A middle path may be 1 or 2 focused hours. Now we move to alternative. An alternative is another possible choice. You can say, we should look for an alternative. Do not think there are always only 2 choices. Sometimes people trap themselves by thinking, I must choose this or that. There may be a third path. A substitute is something used instead of another thing. A fallback is a choice used when the first choice fails. A backup plan is another plan kept ready. You can say, we need a backup plan. This can be a temporary substitute. The fallback should be ready. A second choice may not be your favorite choice, but it may still work. A last resort is the final choice used when other choices fail. Now learn better fit. A better fit is a choice that matches your needs more closely. The most expensive choice is not always the better fit. The most popular choice is not always the better fit. You can say, this plan is a better fit for my life. The phrase, another route, means another way to reach the same goal. You can say, there may be another route. Now learn feasibility. Feasibility means whether an idea can truly work. You can say, we should check the feasibility. A plan may sound beautiful, but can people really do it? Is there enough time? Is there enough money? Do people have the needed skills? Dreaming is easy. Making the idea work is harder. Say softly, feasibility. I can ask if the idea can truly work. The word viability also means whether something can work and remain useful. Practicality means whether it makes sense in daily life. Workability means whether the plan can function. You can say, the idea sounds good, but its practicality is unclear. We need a workable plan. This route may not be viable. Now, learn affordability. Affordability means whether people can pay for something. You can say, we must check affordability. The word manageability means whether something is easy enough to handle. A plan may be possible, but it may be too hard to manage. Now learn sustainability. Sustainability means whether something can continue for a long time. You can study for 12 hours one day, but can you continue that every day? Maybe not. You can say, this routine is difficult to sustain. You can also say, I need a sustainable routine. A good method should not only work once, it should be possible to continue. Now we move to implication. An implication is an effect that may appear because of a choice. You can say, this choice has a serious implication. Maybe a company asks workers to stay late every night. The immediate effect may be more work completed, but the wider implication may be tired workers, family problems, and lower energy. A wider effect reaches beyond the first result. A side effect is another effect that comes with the main effect. A hidden effect is not clear at first. The phrase ripple effect means one action creates many small effects, like a stone making circles in water. You can say, this choice may create a ripple effect. A chain reaction means one event causes another, then another. One poor choice may create many new problems. Now use the sleep learning method. Priority means what matters most. Smart sentence. Safety is my top priority. Sleep repeat. Priority. I can rank what matters. Trade-off means gaining one thing while giving up another. Smart sentence. This choice has a difficult trade-off. Sleep repeat. Trade-off. I can see what I gain and what I lose. Hidden cost means a cost that is not easy to see at first. Smart sentence. The cheaper choice may have a hidden cost. Sleep repeat. Hidden cost. I can look beyond the first result. Alternative means another possible choice. Smart sentence. There may be a practical alternative. Sleep repeat. Alternative. I can look for another route. Feasibility means whether something can truly work. Smart sentence. We should check the feasibility first. Sleep repeat. Feasibility. I can ask if it will work. Sustainability means whether something can continue for a long time. Smart sentence. I need a sustainable routine. Sleep repeat. Sustainability. I can think about the future. Before sleep, repeat these lines softly. I can rank what matters most. I can notice the trade-off. I can look for hidden costs. I can accept a fair compromise. I can search for another route. I can check whether a plan is workable. I can think beyond today. I can notice the wider effect. I do not need a perfect choice. I can make a thoughtful choice. Remember this deeply. A choice can look good at first and still carry a hidden cost. Stop running toward the first bright result. Slow down. Rank your priorities. Look at what you gain. Look at what you lose. Search for another route. Ask whether the plan can work in real life and continue for a long time. Tonight, let these words settle inside your mind. Priority, ranking, greater weight, trade-off, short-term gain, long-term cost, hidden cost, compromise, sacrifice, middle ground, alternative, backup plan, better fit, feasibility, practicality, affordability, sustainability, implication, ripple effect. In the final chapter, all the level 8 words will come together in one complete sleep learning practice. You will use them to build clear, calm, fair, and balanced views in English. Chapter 7. Sleep Practice for Smart Views. Now the room is quiet. The noise of the day is slowly fading. Your body can rest, but your mind can still listen gently. Tonight, you will not chase hundreds of separate words. You will connect them. You will place one thought after another. You will learn how to build a clear view without fear, confusion, or pressure. Listen to this truth carefully. Knowing many English words does not automatically make your speaking smart. You can memorize long lists and still freeze when someone asks, "What do you think?" You can know grammar and still hide behind, "It is good." You can study for years and still say, "I do not agree." with no clear reason. That is painful, but it can change. Your English does not need more empty words. It needs a clear path. The first step is your stance. Your stance means where you stand. Before you explain anything, you should know your basic position. You can say, "My current position is clear." You can say, "My stance is careful, but firm." You do not need to shout. You do not need to fight. A quiet voice can carry a strong position. Say softly, "Stance. I can explain where I stand." The next step is interpretation. An interpretation is how you understand an idea. Two people can hear the same words and understand them differently. This does not always mean one person is foolish. They may be looking through a different lens. You can say, "This is one possible interpretation." You can also say, "I can see another reading." Do not act as if your first understanding is always perfect. Sometimes you misunderstand. Sometimes another person notices something you missed. A thoughtful speaker looks at the wider picture. Say softly, "Interpretation. I can explain how I understand the idea." Now move to the claim. A claim is something a person says is true. When you hear a strong statement, do not accept it immediately. First ask, what is the main claim? Maybe someone says, "Online learning is better for every student." The main claim is clear, but a clear claim is not automatically a correct claim. You can say, "The main claim needs more explanation." Do not let a loud voice do your thinking for you. Do not believe something only because the speaker sounds sure. Say softly, "Claim. I can notice what the speaker wants me to accept." Under the claim, there may be a premise or an assumption. A premise is the starting idea. An assumption is something accepted without enough checking. Maybe the speaker assumes every student has good internet, a quiet room, and strong self-control. That assumption may not be true for everyone. You can say, "There may be a hidden assumption." You can say, "The starting belief needs checking." This is not rude. This is careful thinking. Say softly, "Assumption. I can notice what is hidden." Now follow the reasoning path. A reasoning path shows how one thought leads to another. Good reasoning should not jump from one small example to a huge final view. One person fails an online course. That does not mean online learning fails for everyone. One person buys a cheap product and likes it. That does not mean every cheap product is good. You can say, "The reasoning should be clear." You can say, "I do not see the logical link." Slow thinking protects you from weak conclusions. Say softly, "Reasoning path." One clear thought can lead to another. Now ask about relevance. Relevance tells you whether a point truly connects to the main matter. Some details are interesting, but they do not help the discussion. Imagine people are choosing a school. One person talks only about the color of the gate. Another talks about safety, distance, and teaching. The color may be interesting, but safety carries greater weight. You can say, "This point has greater importance." You can say, "That detail is not relevant to the central issue." Do not let small details hide the real matter. Say softly, "Relevance. I can notice what truly matters." Now think about likelihood. Likelihood means how possible something is. A result can be possible without being certain. You can say, "This result seems likely, but it is not certain." You can say, "That explanation is plausible." Do not pretend to know the future. Do not promise what you cannot guarantee. Honest uncertainty is stronger than false certainty. Say softly, "Likelihood. I can speak about what may happen." Now add nuance. Nuance means a small but important difference. Many ideas are not fully right or fully wrong. They may be partly true. They may work under certain conditions. They may have one limitation or one exception. You can say, this is partly true. You can say, the idea works in some cases. You can say, there is one important limitation. Stop using always when you mean usually. Stop using never when you mean rarely. Stop saying everyone when you know only a few people. Say softly, nuance. I can avoid extreme language. Now imagine another person gives a different view. You may find common ground. Common ground is the part both sides can accept. You can say, we agree on the main concern. You can say, that is a fair point. Maybe you agree with one part, but not the whole idea. That is partial agreement. You can say, I agree with one part of your view. You do not need to choose only yes or no. Mature thinking can hold agreement and concern at the same time. Say softly, common ground. I can find what we share. Now you may have a reservation. A reservation is a concern that stops full agreement. You can say, I have one reservation. You can also give a counterpoint, which is another point that shows a different side. You can say, I would like to add one counterpoint. You can say, I reached a different conclusion. Do not attack the person. Challenge the idea. A calm reason is stronger than an insult. Say softly, reservation. I can disagree with care. Now check credibility. Credibility means how much a source deserves trust. Ask who is speaking. Ask whether the person has expertise. Ask about their track record. A popular person is not automatically correct. A confident person is not automatically honest. A beautiful video is not automatically reliable. You can say, the source should be credible. You can say, I need to check the track record. Trust should be earned. Never give it away because someone speaks loudly. Say softly, credibility. I can judge information carefully. Now notice bias. Bias means unfair thinking toward one side. A message may show only good parts and hide weak parts. A person may accept information that supports their old belief and ignore everything else. You can say, this message may contain bias. You can say, the view feels one-sided. A fair-minded person checks both sides. Fairness does not mean every side is equally correct. It means every idea is judged by honest rules. Say softly, bias. I can notice unfair thinking. Now, use a criterion. A criterion is one rule used to judge something. More than one rule is called criteria. A benchmark is a level used for checking. If you choose a course, your criteria may be price, teaching, time, and real usefulness. If you choose a house, your criteria may be safety, distance, and cost. You can say, my main criterion is clear. You can say, a fair judgment uses the same standard. Do not change your rules only because you like one person more than another. Say softly, criterion. I can explain how I judge. Now, decide your priority. A priority is what matters most. You cannot call everything your top priority. You must rank your needs. You can say, safety is my top priority. You can say, this point deserves greater weight. A smart speaker knows the difference between a main concern and a small concern. Say softly, priority. I can rank what matters most. Now look at the trade-off. A trade-off means gaining one thing while giving up another. A cheaper house may be farther away. A higher-paying job may take more family time. A quick method may be difficult to continue. You can say, there is a trade-off here. You can say, the choice may have a hidden cost. Do not stare only at what a choice gives you. Look at what it takes away. Say softly, trade-off. I can see what I gain and what I lose. Now search for an alternative. An alternative is another possible route. You may not need to choose between only two extreme sides. There may be a middle path, a backup plan, or a better fit. You can say, a practical alternative may work better. You can say, there may be another route. Never trap yourself inside two bad choices when a third choice may exist. Say softly, alternative, I can look for another path. Now check feasibility. Feasibility means whether the idea can truly work. A plan may sound wonderful but still be too expensive, too difficult, or impossible to continue. You can say, we should check the feasibility. You can also check sustainability, which means whether the plan can continue for a long time. Studying 12 hours for one day may be possible. Studying 12 hours every day may not be sustainable. You do not need a plan that looks impressive for one day. You need a plan that works in real life. Say softly, feasibility. I can ask if the plan can truly work. Now you are ready for your final view. Your final view comes after careful thought. You may call it an overall view, a final take, a balanced judgment, an informed judgment, or a reasonable conclusion. A balanced judgment looks at more than one side. An informed judgment uses useful information. A careful judgment does not rush. You can say, my final view is balanced. You can say, this is my reasonable conclusion. You can say, my preferred direction is clear. A smart final view does not need to sound perfect. It only needs to be honest, clear, and supported by careful thought. Now follow the full SMART view pattern slowly. My current position is clear. I can also see another interpretation. The main claim needs explanation. There may be a hidden assumption. The reasoning should be clear. This point has greater importance. The result seems likely, but not certain. The idea is partly true. I agree with one part. I have one reservation. The source should be credible. The message may contain bias. My main criterion is clear. There is a trade-off here. A practical alternative may work better. My final view is balanced. Repeat these final sleep lines softly. I can explain where I stand. I can look at the wider picture. I can notice a hidden assumption. I can follow a clear reasoning path. I can speak without false certainty. I can agree without losing my voice. I can disagree without becoming rude. I can judge trust carefully. I can notice unfair thinking. I can rank what matters most. I can examine the trade-off. I can look for another route. I can give a balanced final view. Remember this deeply. Smart English is not using the biggest words. It is using clear words with careful thought. You do not need to sound like a professor. You do not need perfect grammar before you speak. You need one clear position. You need one honest reason. You need the courage to listen, question, and think. Your English does not have to remain weak. Your thoughts do not have to stay trapped. Stop attacking because you do not know how to disagree. You are capable of more. Tonight, let these words settle inside your mind. Stance, interpretation, claim, assumption, rationale, relevance, likelihood, nuance, common ground, reservation, credibility, bias, criterion, priority, trade-off, alternative, feasibility, balanced judgment. Let your breathing become slow. Let your body rest. You have trained your mind to speak with more care, fairness, and strength. Write this sentence in the comments. I can give a balanced view. Subscribe to Unleash Your English for more powerful sleep learning lessons. Like this video so more learners can find it, and share it with someone who wants to express clear and mature ideas in English. Thanks for watching this video, and now you sleep deeply and well.